Abraham Lincoln.
Louisiana Purchase, that's a name.
You need to really get off my balls, okay? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, why was Michelangelo so stinky? Ew. Welcome to episode 335 of the All You Can Hear podcast. My name is Emperor Colt of Arrakis, and I'm butt chugging spice. And with me, I have
Colt's Mentat, Wenzel. I don't know why I said my last name.
Bring Me My Spider. I want it to watch me throw people into the wall.
Yes, sire. Here is your spider.
Oh, I love you. I love it when you sit in the corner and eat flesh. Oh, you're my favorite child.
Papa, I love you, Papa.
What the fuck? Gosh. Okay, I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. Welcome. This is a review of Dune 2.
Dune Part 2.
This is Dune Part 2. Sorry, it's not Messiah. Dune Part 2, the movie directed by Denis Villeneuve. It came out on March the 1st. We got the early viewing, the 29th.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, that shit good. But I want to get this one thing out of the way because it bothers me that it didn't get brought up. The spider never comes back. The spider was there in the first movie for 3 frames. For some fucking reason. Was that like an accidental like pet on set? Like there was a massive fucking demon that someone had a pet and they're like, shit, the pet's in the shot. We can't change the shot. Let's fuck, just keep it in. It looks kind of scary.
Yeah, no, Villeneuve brought a spider demon onto set, and then he forgot to feed it, and so it kind of just wandered around on set during shooting, and they just left it in.
Well, shit. Okay. I mean, I guess it fits the theme of fucking Harkonnen, Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah, it's whatever. Villeneuve needs to really keep those things in check. But the French, what are you gonna do?
The French, man, they inconsistent. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I don't know much about French people other than they eat snails and they're mean.
And the French Revolution.
Yeah, and they beheaded people.
Yeah, and the guillotine. And we have a lot of French words in the English language.
Ooh, I love... Oh, fuck. Gumbo. There it is. That's an American French thing, I think. I don't think they did that anywhere else other than, like, Louisiana.
I don't know either, actually. That's a good history. That's a good history project for you. I'll put you on it. Good.
All right, Mr. Wilkie, I'll do my gumbo history paper for you.
All right, have it to me at the end of the week.
All right, I will do. I'm not gonna do it. And when I go up to present, I'm gonna throw up and cry.
Well, then you're getting turned into a spider demon. I don't know what you thought how this is gonna end. That thing was in the book, right? Like I think there was a mention of a weird creature in the book.
I don't know. I can't remember. I mean,
maybe I'm placing it in there. I don't know.
I don't think it was. I feel like that was a conversation around the time it came out where people were like, "What the fuck was that?" No one knows what that is, and then it's never brought up again.
Never brought up again. Yeah, so I guess we should say there will probably be mild spoilers for the movie and for the book.
Yes, we will definitely be spoiling the book because we'll be talking about some differences and stuff that was taken out completely.
Yeah. So, yeah. Me and Cole, we read the book probably about 3
years ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, and we haven't reread it don't feel
no,
like that.
No, it's
But-
fucking long. Give me a break.
It's long, but but that doesn't mean we don't remember quite a bit from it, because it's one of our it's one of my favorite books. I don't know
It's
about
one of
Cole.
my favorite books. Yeah.
Okay,
It's a
yeah,
fantastic book. And I
it's-
want to read more of Dune. I have every single fucking Dune book, including his sons, except for like the newest trilogy. And I need to get around to it. That's why I didn't reread the first book. Give me a goddamn break.
Actually, there was a good question that Colt asked me on our way home from the theater. He asked me, he's curious about what Brian, Frank's son, thought about the movies. And I did find out.
Okay. All right. I'm curious to hear what he says. He's like, they're hog shit. There needs to be more boobies or something like that.
No, he actually he really likes it. He thinks part 2 is an incredibly faithful adaptation.
Agree. I think it's a really well done adaptation. This is just like shortening the review basically, but it's a really well done. It cuts out a lot of stuff that I'm sad it cut out, but at the same time, I totally understand.
Yeah.
And the stuff that it cuts out that I'm like, it's still putting it together in a way that I'm like, okay, it's still really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it's let's just get into it, I guess.
Yes,
Let's talk about where should we start? Oh gosh.
The beginning of the movie's fucking wild. It got fucking Stilgar and the rest of the Fremen.
Yeah.
They're just chilling in the dunes. Hey, guess what? This movie's called. And these fucking they're not Sardaukar. What are they? Just Baron Harkonnen men?
Yeah, it's the Harkonnens.
Okay. Yeah, the Harkonnens and these fucking awesome ass hazmat fucking diver suits that can swim through the air like it's water. It's really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just watching them fly through the air, just climbing the mountain after somebody set up a thumper. Thump, 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 thump. I fucking love the thumper in these movies. It's so cool.
Very satisfying. Yeah, no, we get a crazy like intro, if you want to, I guess, to like be prepared for what's in store, because it's brutal as hell. And like Colt said, it's this really cool scene where the Harkonnens, they need to get off the sand because the worms, any danger of worm or worm sign or anything, so they need to get out. And they use their boosters to jetpack up this giant rock.
But it's not like a normal, like a traditional jetpack. It's like they turn gravity off themselves.
Basically, it's like they create like I think you even see it. It's like it does something with their shield, like where they, like Colt said, they basically like manipulate gravity to where they kind of just swim up the rock. It's really cool. Like like obviously you can tell like the only way to produce that is with having them on like strings or whatever, but at the same time it literally,
you can't tell they're on strings. Like
you can't. It literally,
it's crazy.
It's like this. It did this really cool visual effect where like it looks uncanny, but at the same time it's like, yeah, I could see that's how you would float up a rock. Like it's really cool. And then brutal, absolutely brutal. They all get fucking sniped, like not even a bit. They get sniped and their bodies fall off the rock onto the ground, and it's loud.
It's fucking 9/11 jumper loud. It's crazy. There's the out of pocket comment, but it's so fucking loud hearing the body slam into the ground right in front of fucking Paul and Jessica.
Yeah,
they're just fuck, man. That shit was brutal and startling.
And and we were watching this in IMAX too, so that also contributed to like the sound.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. So just right off the bat though, little thing, this movie picks up exactly where the first movie left off. Like,
oh yeah, Jamis is in a body bag and they're ready to get the fuck out of there.
Yep, they're with the Fremen, and they're gonna go try to link up with the other Fremen, and yeah, and that's literally, and then we just go from there, and we kind of we just follow Paul and Jessica as they integrate into Fremen society, but also to basically
become the leaders,
become the leaders and get revenge pretty much rise up.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like cool, super interesting ways that Denis adapted the book, especially I pictured it a lot more brutal and gruesome in my head when reading the way they turned the bodies into water. But in the movie, they have this cool little device they stab into the people and just start sucking the water out of them immediately. And then later in the book, they have another way where they put this is for their own Fremen people. They put them in this like bag and they suction them, and then they like mega vacuum out all their water so they can mix it with the water of life.
Yeah. Oh, it's really cool. It was brutal too. I mean, I know you say like it sounded more brutal in the book, but I mean, it looked brutal. I mean, there was one guy who they were sucking the water out of, and he was still alive. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, that whole sequence, the Harkonnen suits too. I want to talk about that, like just the all black, like because you brought up that they at first. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, "Are those Sardaukar?" Because in the book they describe the Sardaukar as having black and gold colors for their that's their what's the word identification colors or whatever. That's theirs, black and gold. The Emperor, that's his colors, black and gold. But they changed it, for the movies. Denis went with like this monotone gray, which is kind of disappointing, but whatever. And then Harkonnens are all black with hairless bodies.
Yeah, they're fucking freaky as shit. Coming from their fucking black sun planet that's super fucking sick and also hard to look at for long periods of time, but you can't look away because everything that happens when they're on that planet is absolutely fucking like stunning.
Okay, so that was so cool seeing that, because that's literally how life is on that planet because of their sun. This is the planet's Gedi Prime. That's the Harkonnen home world, I guess if you want to call it that. That's where they rule from. And yeah, it's all in this it's all black and white. It's just crazy. And the reason they, or how they did that, was they had a camera, I read, that they set up to only see infrared, and they did something afterwards so that everything was in black and white, like not black and white like how we see in black and white films, but rather that like everything physically is black and white. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, they also have like super cool special effects since they're celebrating the birthday of Fade Raltha on that planet. They're having like fireworks shows that look like tiny little sun implosions as they launch into the air. It's really cool.
Yeah, it kind of, whenever we see kind of the outside of the complexes, it kind of reminds me of Tron.
Yeah. That's one thing I want to read. I know people don't like Ryan's books, but like I want to read more about the other factions, because there's like a series of books on like the Harkonnens, the Atreides. I want to see more about their home planets because I want to read about like the architecture if possible. I know this is too much nerd shit. I don't know if he goes into this deep nerd shit, but I want to see what's the inspiration and what stuff behind it.
Yeah, no, I want to know about the other great houses. So if anybody who doesn't know or remember, in the universe of Dune, there's the great houses. That's what makes up basically the huge governing body of the galaxy. That and the guild. I think the guild and the great houses together make up something called Landsrad. If I'm saying that right, which is something that's mentioned in the movie, but holy shit, we'll say this every fucking time. Every fucking time we'll say this. Give shit subtitles, for the love of fucking God, especially when you have a movie that has made up fucking terms, or it has shit that like because like with the way like, okay, Christopher Walken's character and certain other characters, what they talk, they speak so like they speak fast, and because of their accent, it's really hard to tell that they're saying something that's like kind of important, like a key word, I guess, if you want to say it like that. And
Yeah.
like like they literally, it could literally be gibberish. And I was able, listening to it, I was like, okay, like that's the thing that's referenced in the book or whatever. But I could only do that because literally I was listening, or I was cued in on, like, the certain sound of like, okay, shit, that's, they literally just mentioned that. Okay. But it's like so fast and almost not inaudible, but it was just kind of fucking annoying.
It's also the fact that whenever the Fremen would talk, they speak in their own language, and sometimes they would subtitle it, and sometimes they wouldn't. And I just found that frustrating. I wish there was a way to have subtitle, like you could pay for a movie that has subtitles, not more, just a different showing.
Well, they do that for certain movies, but they're not as like they're not at the forefront.
I wish people could read. I wish more people in America knew how to read. Because I genuinely think that's the issue. Like they don't have issues subtitling English movies in other countries. I mean, and they still do banger numbers. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's very bizarre that like America is just, or I guess Hollywood, I don't know, is so, not ironclad, but like putting their fist down, like, we don't want subtitles. Damn
It
it.
messes with the film. It makes it look not what the way we wanted. Eat my shit. I don't know what they're saying. So that's a fucking negative.
Like, and also too, shouldn't everybody be able to enjoy film? Like, I don't know, like, it's not. And then they talk about like, oh, you have to read and you have to watch the movie and you have to read and you have to watch the movie. It's like blah 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 blah. Like, it's so distracting. It's like, no, it's not. You're just a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, we brought this up before in the past. I've been watching subtitled anime all my life. I can read pretty damn fast and like enjoy the scene at the same time. Like even when I'm playing video games where the text moves faster than people talking, I will sometimes skip ahead when I have finished reading it, even though the person talking is not done talking. It's just like I've got that information in my brain. Come on now, guys. I can look at the scene after I read because I'm fucking a fast reader. I know some people struggle with reading and they can't help it, but for the most part, come on, gang. Come on, gang.
Yeah, like, and it's not like, yeah, it's just kind of it is a skill when it comes to reading, but at the same time, it's so, I don't know, it's easy.
Yeah.
Like, if you just, it's not a super difficult skill whenever you're doing this to like you don't have to, I don't know how to explain it. It's just because it's so, like you said, it's like, it's something you've been doing all your life. It's something I've been doing all my life. So it's like, we just know how to do it, like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. That was kind of a other tangent. Yeah. So back to Dune Part 2.
Yeah. Bass is booming like crazy. Sadly, they only do the really cool like chanting voice at the very beginning of the movie. That they do at the starter car planet when they're, if you know what I mean.
That really cool vibrating voice. It was done at the very beginning of this movie, like it was done at the very beginning of the first movie. It's really cool. Has something to say,
Which is really sick.
And yeah, no, it's the only time. It's still cool though. I guess like the action, that was something me and Colt talked about. I know a lot of people also talked about how, like, if you liked Dune 1, then Dune 2 is probably going to be even crazier.
Yeah, because Dune 1, it has action and the action is really good, but it does not have nearly the same amount of action that the second movie does. And the action in the second movie, it ramps it up, in my opinion, in a way better way. Just seeing the way the Fremen ambush these spice gathering machines, harvesters, it's fucking beautiful. Especially the scene where Chani shoots a rocket launcher, which is essentially a Gauss rifle, like a rail gun with a packed explosive metal round. It's so fucking cool how you can see it floating in the shield where it's trying to break through the energy shield, and it's just shaking and so fucking loud, and it just breaks through and explodes finally. It's so sick.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, no, this is where we get into like the real meat, I guess, of like the action or of Dune, because the first part is mostly set up, and then this part, and then but just like but getting to action. Yeah, the fight scenes were incredible, and then like the destruction of like the destruction of like vessels and stuff like that, and like it's very satisfying. They have those. I love how they depict the lasers, the las guns in this. They're literally just lasers that go on forever.
Yeah, they're lightsabers. They cut through everything.
But I would say even scarier.
Yes.
It is it's really cool. I'm trying to think. Like there's and then like the ornithopters having their machine guns is pretty.
Yeah, it's like a shotgun machine gun that is like super fucking lethal.
It was insane. They killed so many Fremen in that scene. I'm just like, how is anybody going to get out of this alive besides Paul and Chani? And I think everybody who was there on the ground didn't survive besides those two. Like the only people who, like, unless you were on the outside with the lasers, that's it. It was like, what the hell? See, that seemed kind of interesting, but yeah, no, it was crazy. And then oh gosh, I'm trying to think.
There's a scene where Paul has his family nukes. You know how every family has their nukes.
Yes.
And he shoots it at the Sardaukar, and it's one of the coolest fucking scenes in the entire movie, both movies. It's just so awesome seeing the rain of. They don't exactly aim for the main enemy. They aim behind it so that the falling of the rocks and sand will crush everything instead of, like, I guess, irradiating everything and like making the like cleanup or rush in process harder.
It was an insane scene because so like set, I guess if you want to say set design and architecture was insane, and honestly what I had hoped for from this adaptation, because whenever the Emperor gets the planet and sets up basically his base, which is a giant fucking pyramid with a giant sphere above it, which is the Sardaukar ship, it's literally a mega structure. And whenever you see the soldiers, all the Sardaukar, it's like oh gosh, like huge big ass battle scene set up. Like it's insane. And yeah, what Colt says is they launch the atomics or the nukes at the mountain basically behind them, and it's like a volcano erupting. Basically, it's this huge just explosion and like rock and ash are raining down on the Sardaukar as a way to bring up dust and also to kind of distract maybe, because that's when the sandworms come in. Oh my god.
Yeah, the sandworm charge is so fucking awesome. Every scene with a sandworm in this movie is so fucking heat.
Yes.
Especially the one where like everyone thinks he's gonna die, but Paul tames the biggest sandworm they've ever seen.
A great grandfather sandworm. It was insane too. And it was funny. Like Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem, was like, no, not that big. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so crazy. Like they really did a good job with the sandworms.
And they did a good job at Stilgar glazing the shit out of fucking Paul. Like everything that Paul did, he's like, yes sir, you got it, sir. Anything for you, Paul.
There was
so good.
There was a moment that was so funny because it was like clearly meant to be. I don't know another. I don't honestly know when Villeneuve has done this where he has a scene that like feels so kind of like perfect comedic timing whenever Paul says something and then immediately it's like this fast cut of Stilgar and the other I don't know if they're fundamentalists, but you know, the people who believe in Paul as a religious figure, they're like, he said the thing he said it. Like
Yeah.
like literally listing out like clearly he said it because that's in the prophecy. Like
Yeah, Paul's like, I'm not who you think I am. And he's like, humble Madib. He's
yeah.
denying it even though he really is.
Like it's literally it's so funny. And I was completely like, I've seen I haven't seen all of Villeneuve's films, but like I don't think he's ever done like a very comedic scene like that before. It was very different and I love it.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Yes, yeah.
Especially
Stilgar,
compared to the book. Stilgar, I don't remember him being a silly Billy at times. I remember him being like a serious but kind guy.
yeah, no, that's I think that it was I don't remember him being so fanatical, I guess if you want to say that, but I mean it fits though because he believes in, you know, Paul and the prophecy. Or yeah. Um so yeah, but they definitely made him more so fanatical in this, and I mean it wasn't bad. It was very good. I think they really hit a good note with that. Let's see.
The scene with Fade Routha on the planet for his birthday, where he is fighting everyone, was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because Baron Harkonnen had not drugged up one person, which I think was the doctor for the Atreides.
No, no, he died.
Oh yeah, he died poison tooth, right? No, he gave the poison tooth to what's his name?
Yeah, no, Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah, why can't I fucking remember? Yeah, Leto, sorry. No, he already had it. Baron snapped his neck.
Yeah. But this Atreides guy did not get drugged, and he almost fucking killed Fade, but Fade is a freak that said some crazy shit.
Yeah, Fade's introduction was you know, we can get into character stuff because Fade's introduction was really crazy. But I want to say because I can't remember. I feel like Raban was crazier than Fade.
Yeah, Raban is pretty fucking crazy. He's more volatile. I'm gonna go ahead and say all Harkonnens are fucking insane. I think the sun is cooking their brains.
Yeah.
But Raban, he's like, there was one of the, I think a Mentat was like, hey, this is not a great idea. And he just starts slamming his head into the console, screaming. It looked like Batista was really fucking mad. Like, legit, he was beating the shit out of that guy. And there's another scene where he's like, follow them. And then they're in an ornithopter, and the guy's like, fuck, I've lost him. And then he just starts screaming, and he snaps his neck. It's so fucking funny.
Oh shit. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Hold on. Before we get to that costume design, because that guy, the tracker, I guess in the souped up ornithopter, that was so cool.
Yeah, it was like a unique design for the ship as well. It's like the missile pod. It's weird. I think it was going for like a vagina thing symbolism, where it shot out the missiles. It was unique and bulbous.
I think you're thinking of something else.
The ground pound little pods that destroyed the Fremen's hive.
That one was different from what that tracker was flying.
Oh,
whenever
okay.
they were in the desert. I said souped up ornithopter because that's what it was. It kind of looked more like if you remember at the end of Avatar, the movie, the first one with what's his fucking face? Stephen Lang's big gunship. It kind of looked like that. What you're talking about though is like a bulbous it was a crazy ass scene where they kind of found the Fremen's hideout and they have this bulbous flying kind of missile pod that's just unloads on the rocks. It's crazy.
Shaking your whole insides, by the way. Like IMAX with these explosions, man. You felt it in every single inch of your body.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, back to Fade Rotha. Fade Rotha's introduction was crazy because it's every time he got a knife on screen, somebody's throat got slit. That's not a bit. The only time he didn't slit someone's throat, I almost said thrit someone's throat, was towards the end. But like immediately the first time we hear him, he asked the women if they wanted any meat.
Yeah, it reminded me of at the very beginning of Cyberpunk. Adam Smasher says, "You look like a delicious cut of fuckable meat or fuck meat," something like that.
No, oh my god, Colt. He said, Jesus Christ.
Repeat it.
Okay. He says you look like a fuckable cut of meat.
Yeah, there we go.
Why'd you make me do that?
It's just you're quoting.
Yeah, I know. It's just anyway, yeah, and then immediately kills two of the women.
Yeah, they're not good guys. I'll say that.
Nah, but it was crazy. Fade's fight in the arena too. There was these jester looking guys that were actually looked kind of cool to kind of help make sure Fade doesn't get killed or hurt. Fade Rotha, by the way, is the nephew of Vladimir Harkonnen, the main guy. He's the Baron. And this is a scene where we get Leah Sedow's character, Lady Fenrig, who is a Bene Gesserit who has come there to basically scout out Fade Rotha because Paul Atreides is considered, a failure basically, but also too the Bene Gesserit want to keep more control and they want they still want to produce the Kwisatz Haderach. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And they wanted to check into the Harkonnen bloodline. So Leah Sedow's character was going there to do that. She is successful. They give him the Gom Jabbar, which I don't remember them doing that in the book. All I remember is Lady Fenrig literally just getting his seed, getting his DNA, and securing the genes.
I guess a real soldier, maybe.
And then Fade Rotha is also he is given Arrakis because
Raban fucked up and fucking Harkonnen is a little. It's like, Raban, you're an embarrassment. You do anything else, and I'll fucking kill you.
And it's so it's a very interesting scene because whenever he's gifted Arrakis, he gives Stellan Skarsgård, who plays Baron Harkonnen, he gives him a kiss on the lips, and apparently that was just it just found out like today that was actually improvised by Austin Butler.
And you know what? It's in character. I can see him doing that.
It's in character, but more so for Vladimir because that was something that was not in the movies, and I'm glad they took out. Was that Baron Harkonnen is a pedophile?
Yeah, he wants to fuck his nephew.
Yes, he. Yeah, that's it, and it's not good. But I'm glad they took that out. Yeah, and then to go more into characters, I mean, oh my God, Raban. Whenever Fade kicks Ramon's ass. It's so funny because Dave Bautista is so much bigger than Austin Butler, but it's just, I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
For the I just want to go ahead and say the final fight between Feyd-Rautha and Paul is pretty fucking sick. The fight is a knife fight. If you remember the David Lynch Dune, you remember Sting was fighting I can't remember his name, dude from Twin Peaks.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah.
And that fight, I will say, David Lynch Dune, not good. Not a good adaptation, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of it. It does have some fun vibes, but it's in fun, costume design. Other than that, it's not great. We'll talk about that more later. This fight is 10 times better in every fucking way. It actually feels like a legitimate fight between two people. And it's hard to tell who's going to win it's at one point, even though if Paul's going to fucking win, it's Paul Atreides. They both were really skilled at what they did.
Yeah. No, it was very good depicting these two, I guess. I mean, they're around the same age, so it was really crazy because even though I knew what happened, I was like, because when you read the fight scene in the book, it's so much different than what it was on screen. It's, I won't say it's hard to follow, but the way director and the way an author are gonna depict a scene are gonna be different. And I don't remember Paul getting so wounded in the book, but that's fine. But because I think it was even more brutal and the victory is even more worth it whenever he gets stabbed like twice. Oh my god, like once in the stomach and once in the chest, like kind of close to the heart, and then that's when he gets the upper hand on Feyd. It's crazy. And it's brutal too whenever that entire time, whenever Paul drinks the water of life and just, I guess, basically just chooses to follow his destiny. He starts using his Bene Gesserit powers more, and his he starts screaming more. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
I love it when they do their big voice, do it.
It's very scary. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
spooky.
it. Whenever Paul is issuing his challenge and the Reverend Mother tries to say something to him, he just tells her to silence. Oh, it's so good because I fucking hate the Reverend Mother. And you're
Yeah, she
supposed to.
fucking sucks.
And somebody took a video of that in the theater and tweeted it out and talked about how Feyd-Rautha or Austin Butler got horny whenever Paul screams. Like the face.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I think Austin Butler was not acting.
Yeah. That just the culmination of everything, because the horror of it all, of after that, of forcing the Emperor to kiss his ring, and then that's when they go on their holy war. It's insane.
Holy war.
And
doing a mega death bit. My bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag it to a halt. Fuck.
And yeah, it's just crazy seeing all the Fremen just get on ships. And if you read the books, if you read Dune Messiah, you know exactly what happens. And it's just like, fuck. I can't wait to see Dune Part 3, sorry, to see how Villeneuve adapts this. I'm very curious.
Yeah, Dune Messiah, I've only read the first two books. Dune Messiah is my favorite of the two. I know that's a hot take, but seeing the stuff that he's doing with the already established stuff is so fucking cool. I just love it. And just I can't say anything about it other than you're going to love it. You're going to love the way you look.
And Yeah, and I guess we can talk about let's talk about some of the stuff that's not in the some more stuff that's not in the movie, or that's not it's not in the movie, that's from the book. So something else too should bring up is if you remember Leto's mentat from the first movie, Thufir Hawat, played by Stephen McKinley Henderson. Yeah. Actually, he was going to be in part 2, but they Villeneuve decided that they had to take out his scenes because they weren't impactful or really affected the overall arching story. So they took those out. But in the book, though, he was he actually wasn't that pretty big in the book either. After the Harkonnen surprise attack, he goes off to be the mentat for somebody else. I don't know if it's for the Emperor or for the Harkonnens, but he goes to be the mentat for somebody else. Gurney Halleck, though, that was something they kept in the movie, but they took out the fact that Gurney thought that Lady Jessica betrayed them and that he wanted to kill her. They took that out.
I can't remember if it would have been in the first part or this part. There was someone that was out in the desert, and this is where they talk about where spice comes from. I think it was supposed to be in the first part. Someone dies via an explosion of the spice.
Oh, that's Dr. Kynes.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember she died in the first movie, the first part.
Yeah, but she didn't die like that.
Oh yeah, no. In the book, he dies while going through the process of kind of like the expulsion of spice. Yeah. Oh god, we didn't talk about the scene though, how they get the water of life. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they got the baby worm and they fucking drowned it. It's so awesome seeing them drown a baby worm.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And
lady just fucking the sister was not born.
Oh my god, yes. Okay. Jesus Christ.
The huge thing that is changed.
I literally been thinking about it and I've completely fucking forgot. I don't know why. Yeah, so that was something that was altered, is that in the book there's a time skip where between the time that Paul links up with the Fremen and then the part that we get to I'm trying to think of where exactly it happens in the movie, but there's a point where 4 to 6 years pass and Paul's sister is born. Her name is Aaliyah. Her alias is Aaliyah the Knife. It's a badass name,
which she gets after throating the Baron in the book.
Yeah, so in the book,
stabbing him in the throat.
In the book, she is again 4 to 6 years old, and she kills Baron Harkonnen. Now in the movie, it's Paul that does it, which it was good.
It was pretty satisfying seeing that fucker get stabbed in his naked ass in that one scene.
Oh yeah, we get to see Baron Harkonnen's butt. Yeah, so but anyway, yeah, and there was rumors that Anya Taylor-Joy was gonna play Aaliyah, and those rumors were true.
Yeah,
because
I don't know how long it's gonna be, or how they're gonna do it for the second movie, considering Anya Taylor-Joy is almost 30, around the same age as fucking Timothy Chalamet.
See, Colt keeps saying he doesn't know how they're gonna do it, but they're just gonna do a time skip.
Well, then Timothy Chalamet can't play Paul in the next movie.
It doesn't have to be major, dude.
Well, they look the same age.
Whatever. Anyway, I really don't know. I don't know. They'll do something though. But yeah, there's a vision that Paul has, and then Anya Taylor-Joy is there, and she does the voice of her as a fetus as well, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, they got that damn baby drinking the water of life. God damn.
Yeah, it was kind of it was about the same, but in the movie it was pretty crazy whenever she drank it and they're like, "Oh shit, she's pregnant." Now in the book, they were like it wasn't as crazy. I want to say it was crazy. It was just there was more dialogue. I want to say like they were like, "Why didn't you say that you were pregnant or whatever?" It wasn't in the movie. It was more like Lady Jessica was having a spasm and everybody was just watching.
Yeah, they're like, dude, that's crazy. Shit, she's probably gonna die.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, she's pregnant. That's not good," because if nobody kind of knows or understands, like basically, when Lady Jessica drank the water of life, she becomes Reverend Mother, but also Aaliyah, the fetus, is also a Reverend Mother now. So there's like,
Yup.
yeah, it's crazy. Third movie will probably go a little more into that, but yeah. And also too, the Reverend Mother that for the Fremen was blind. Was that in the book?
I don't remember. It's been too long.
I don't want to say that was because we know what happens to blind Fremen in the third book or in Messiah.
I don't know.
See, yeah, so that's a little tease for something. Let's just say there's some tradition with what happens when a Fremen becomes blind. That's kind of interesting to say the least. But yeah. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else besides that. Let's just get into characters and actors and stuff. What do we think about like the Emperor, Florence Pugh playing the princess? What do we think about those two?
Oh, the Emperor really good. Stephen Walking. Nope. Christopher Walken is very good at playing a mysterious old man that may or may not have helped a man drown his wife in the 60s. Very good. And Florence Pugh was also very good for the small amount of time she was there. I really don't remember her character in Messiah either. I know she's in it. I just can't remember much about her or what she does. Sadly.
No, in the book Dune, a lot of the opening appendices or quotes or whatever are of Princess Urlan's. I think that's how you're saying it, is Urlan or Urlan. That's how you say your name. A lot of those are hers, and she doesn't have quite a big role in the first book until like the later end. Again, not that big of a role until Messiah. Messiah, she has a bigger role because of the fact that she is married politically to Paul. She has a bigger role in there. I won't say too much just to give away what might happen in the third movie, but I think Florence Pugh would probably have a bigger role in the third movie, which I hope so, just because I really liked her. I think it was a good choice to make her that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Colt said, I really liked her, and I really like Christopher Walken. I think being kind of a vague but kind of over like a vague but boiling old man. I think that was a really good choice.
It was very satisfying seeing him kiss the ring because it just felt like, fuck yeah, fuck you, old bitch.
Yeah. Also, Colt. Whenever that happens, he immediately turns to me. He's like, "Cuck."
Yeah, yeah.
It was very fun. And I guess this also goes into what was different from the book, and well, not different, but like, Chani. Let's talk about Zendaya as Chani.
Yeah, I like Chani more in the book, if I'm being honest. I'm not huge on her being opposed to Paul the entire time, even though there's a lot of proof that, yeah, he's probably the special one or the chosen one. And I just feel like she's underused in the movie as well. But she's
So
still really good. The acting's really good.
So that's interesting because I remember I remember seeing a few tweets about Villeneuve's role or Villeneuve changing or making sure changing her kind of how she's depicted in the movie from how she's depicted in the book, and I'll just read from this article. So, Denis Villeneuve's focus on Zendaya's character Chani in Dune Part 2 pays homage to Frank Herbert's original vision for a cautionary tale, not just a heroic story. Chani's expanded role in the sequel allows for a critical distance from Paul's character, adding depth to the adaptation. And so this is Villeneuve. It's very important. It's fundamental. Chani is my secret weapon in this adaptation because I wanted to be faithful to Frank Herbert's initial intention. When the first book was released, he was disappointed with the way people perceived the book and Paul's character. He wanted to make a kind of cautionary tale instead of the celebration of a hero. He wanted to create an anti-hero. And for that, he wrote Dune Messiah to correct the perception of his first book. And I knew that. So I made this adaptation in order to try to be faithful to his idea, which are Frank Herbert's initial desires. And I used Chani's character. I transform her. I create a critical distance. She allows me to have distance with Paul. From her perspective, I can see the trial more clearly in Paul's trajectory. And Chani's character through the movie is kind of more because it is interesting because Paul is like there's a lot of sci-fi magic here going on. He is what the Bene Gesserit have been trying to create for thousands of years, which is basically the Kwisatz, or which is the Kwisatz Haderach, or however you say it. And that is a man. It specifically is supposed to be a man that bridges the gap between time and space. Is able to see the future and see all points in time, and able to it's crazy. And the problem with that for the Bene Gesserit is that they want it to be somebody they can control, and the Atreides they couldn't control anymore. That's why they had to make sure to wipe them out, but they didn't get Paul, and then Paul ends up being that. And he's the chosen one, quote unquote, is because he's also been genetically altered, and due to religious propaganda and misinformation, he fits that perfectly. And because and Chani in this, while she is, because the entire time it's like very clear who Paul is and that we're given that, but Chani seems more so like she's more skeptical of him, and while she does support him and come to love him over some time, there is a distance that she creates that she builds from him that we do see in Messiah, the book, and we see that kind of, I guess you want to say, early in the movie. And a fun fact too, somebody or Villeneuve said was that Chani puts on a blue like headband or band, and Fremen put on blue, or Fremen women, I think, put on blue to show that they're in love with somebody. And for that moment, she was in love with Paul. So, but then she moves it to where she puts it on her arm. So she still loves Paul, but at the same time, she's still fighting for her people. So because anyway, so we get that kind of early on, and God, that was something else too that was removed from the book, not in the movie, was in the time gap that happens in the book. Chani gets pregnant and they have their first kid and he dies.
Yeah, true.
I forgot about that. And that was something that was that I think was something that was important to the relationship in history that Paul and Chani had in the book, but we don't have this in the movie. And I think that works. That we don't have the time jump that we do in the book that we have in the movie, and I think that works because that's the vision that Villeneuve is trying to go for. Was was not necessarily different. It was just it didn't need that. So yeah, would it have been interesting to see? Oh yeah, but that wasn't there. And then with what he's setting up right now, I think it does effectively work for setting up for the third movie because like he says, with that distance that's created, and while she's there at the forefront, um the distance is there, but the distance also too feels like is like literally like Zendaya is not there. Like I don't know, maybe that's just Villeneuve being effective with what he was trying to do, but I don't know. I think that's great. I thought she was really good, and yeah, I'm curious to see how this pans out into the third movie.
Yeah, there's just so much leading up to this Messiah, especially with the announcing of the Holy War. You just want to see what the fuck happens next. I remember as soon as the credits were rolling, I was like, fuck. I could watch another hour of that because I love the Dune universe so much, and I just want to see what happens next, even though I know what happens next. But since it's this new adaptation that's changing the way he's going to have to change the way the story progresses in a way that makes sense if he wants to adapt it truly to the source. I'm just curious to see how he does it.
Yeah, yeah, and he's not, and Villeneuve is not trying to adapt it exactly to, obviously, like, because with movies and film, or with films and books, you can't adapt one for one, but if you can adapt the intent and the themes, then that's right there your one-to-one adaptation. And I think Villeneuve hit that with this, like with Paul.
Yeah, but I feel like he's still adapted like 80% of the book, like perfectly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To kind of steer back to the characters, Timothy Chalamet as Paul, very good. I really enjoyed the performance, and then also to like the struggling there of the conflict of like Paul knows, or he does not want to go to the south. He doesn't want to get the water of life. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to join the fundamentalists. He doesn't want to be this figure, whatever. But eventually, he just falls into it. He does it. I really enjoyed that, Timothy Chalamet's portrayal of that, and then also to Lady Jessica and Rebecca Ferguson constantly plotting plots within plots within plots. It's very good. I really enjoyed her as that.
Yeah. Also, another fun thing. It's not really Dune related, but the whole. I think it was during the Dune press tour. She was interviewed talking about how one of her worst experiences on set, and how one of the main actors, like the high build actor, like the main actor, told her like, you don't know how to act, or like, what the fuck you call that acting? And she cried on set, and the whole fucking internet or Twitter is going crazy saying, whoever said this, I'll kill you, me included. So people are like, fucking, oh god, what's the guy that's the creepy crawler? He records car crashes and shit. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah.
Saying maybe Jake Gyllenhaal. They're saying maybe The Rock. Maybe it's a woman. They don't know. She was very vague, but people are hunting them down.
Yeah, she just said a co-star. And people, and the internet is trying to figure it out. It's pretty crazy. It's funny. Yeah, no, Rebecca Ferguson was great. She in this film, like, I mean, oh god, it's so good because she plays like she's her character is a mom who loves Paul, but at the same time, first and foremost, she's a Bene Gesserit, and whenever she takes the water of life, whenever she gets put into the situation changes where it's like, we have to establish ourselves, we have to secure power, like, and like that's the same thing with Paul too, and like and it's, oh my gosh, I will say too, I wish they would have visually represented whenever he becomes the Kwisatz Haderach fully, kind of that much more better, just because it it's just insane. Like, the dude can literally see into the fucking future, and like like see all points of like probability. Like it's insane. And like it would just be cool if there was a better kind of like impact of that. And don't get me wrong, what happened was impactful, but it would just been cooler if he was like if it was more impactful of like of what he can really see. And they took the route that made sure that their family and friends would be alive. That's what I was trying to say. But
oh fuck, they didn't include the I just remember something that was in the book they didn't include. It's the whole kill Jamis, gain his wife and his killed children. They didn't put that in the movie.
Yeah. That was also something else too. Was so after Paul kills Jamis, he gets back to the AYCH, which is where all the Fremen live. There's a bunch of different AYCHs, and it's part of like their tradition or whatever that basically like whoever kills whoever and like you know they have a partner or whatever they get to they basically get that person and their children and stuff. And it's very weird because
It's
like,
weird in a way. It's weird, but at the same time in the book, Paul doesn't mistreat them in any way. He's just basically lets them do their own thing. He doesn't want them.
yeah, it's kind of, well, the way they set it up is like if he doesn't do it, then they're like then they're not like they're better with him rather than without him. It's really, you know, but it's whatever. Yeah, I honestly didn't miss it really. I didn't think it was integral.
Yeah, but I still felt like the kids and the characters themselves, I felt like they were a little bit more important in the book. Like they had more dialogue.
Oh, well, they might have had more dialogue, but they weren't really important because
I still thought they were fun. Like some of the interactions they had with Paul after they reconciled with the fact that Jamis was a piece of shit.
Was Jamis a piece of shit?
Yeah, he was being super fucking aggressive to fucking Paul for no reason other than he was an outsider.
I mean, yeah, but like,
And I think a majority of the fucking Fremen were on him.
you say that, but like, he has like constantly like visions of Jamis, and he constantly asks him like to speak to him, like he's fucking Goose.
I don't know. Tom Cruise needs to talk to him, I guess.
Yeah, I think anyway, to kind of wrap it up, I think Dune Part 2 is the definitive adaption of the book.
Yes, it is. Fantastic movie. 5 out of 5 stars. Better than the first movie. Easily.
Oh yeah, easily. 5 out of 5 stars as well. Had a great time. We got to feel the Dune worm bucket.
Yep, Tanner bought the bucket, and just every time there was a worm on screen, I could see out of the corner of my eye. Tanner raises the bucket a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Every time there was a worm on screen, he would raise the bucket to be like, "Oh, worm."
Worm.
It was very fun. But before we completely zip this up, I would just like to bring up this funny little thing that that Villeneuve said recently, which caused kind of like controversy. Is Villeneuve says movies have been corrupted by TV because I'm not interested in dialogue at all. Pure image and sound. That is the power of cinema. Frankly, I hate dialogue. Dialogue is for theater and TV. I don't remember movies because of a good line.
And
I just think
I
that's
don't like
fucking
that.
hilarious since he decided to adapt a fucking book that is dialogue heavy.
Yeah, that's a bad take. Dune it needs dialogue. If you don't have dialogue in Dune or a lot of dialogue in Dune, then you're fucking lost. And I still genuinely think there's a lot of people that are watching these Dune movies that are not fully appreciating them. It's not on them, it's on Denny. Because there's a lot of background information that you don't get.
Yeah. I mean, and that's tough. That's tough too because it's a lie. But it's just so funny that he says that because literally Dune is based on dialogue and explanation, exposition. fuck, the book literally has an index in it,
A
like
huge fucking index for a goddamn book.
and it's just so funny, and people, everybody I've seen particularly does not agree with that. I think one person retweeted it, said, "This ain't it, King." Like Villeneuve, don't get me wrong, great director, awesome, but bad take. Such a bad take, because literally, how many times has people quoted film? All the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. And also, too, that's a huge fuck you to all writers. Like, okay. Like, I mean, I know, like, he doesn't want to make, he wants to focus purely. Well, no, he says he doesn't, he thinks that cinema is purely image and sound. Like, dude, no. What?
I don't think I'd be that huge into movies if it was. Just that, I mean, I'd like some movies, but like, I like a good fucking conversation, good story.
I like to know people's thoughts and opinions.
I fucking love exposition, bitch. What are you talking about? I love Kojima games. Who do you think I am?
Like, I don't know. I like to read, so I imagine I would like to read what people are writing in a film. So yeah, so there you go. To leave you off with that 5-star movie.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I guess you want to plug it in?
Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening again. You can follow us on Twitter at AYCH Podcast. Go listen to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Overcast. We're the all-you-can-hear podcast. Go listen to Cage and Greatness. Go listen to Instruction Booklet. Go listen to Backlog BoyZ. They're Backlog BoyZ is us, by the way, but I like our stuff, and I like everybody else's stuff. Go check them out. Seriously, I think Cage and Greatness just came back with a new episode. Go check that out, of course. And you can follow all of them on Twitter, obviously. Go follow us on Blue Sky, AYCH Podcast.bsky.social. Follow us on Instagram, AYCH Podcast. Go follow us on Twitch, All You Can Hear, twitch.tv/all you can hear. Go follow us on YouTube, All You Can Hear as well, where we have all our Twitch VODs. And you can follow me, Wenzel, on Twitter at WenzelWiki. Follow my art Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky as World of Wenzy. Follow my Bookstagram, Wenzel Banters, and my Linktree has links for everything, including my Letterboxd and my Goodreads.
My name Colt. Follow me on Twitter, ColtD00, or on Blue Sky, ColtD99. Go watch some Dune. Go read some Dune. If you watched the movies and you enjoyed them, I highly recommend you check out the books, because you're going to have a lot of foundation work there to work with. So making or reading it can actually be a little bit easier, I believe.
Yeah,
so give it a go.
Yeah, and definitely go give it a read. It's a great book. It's a 5-star book, just as Dune is a 5-star movie. So yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Go eat some spice.
Yum, yum, yum.